She did look. She saw families having fun, neighbors chatting, children playing safely. She saw a community that functioned perfectly well without her 17-page rulebooks and color-coded violation notices. But as Karen walked home, leaving wet footprints on the sidewalk, her jaw set with new determination. If these people wanted to live in chaos, that was their choice. But she had security camera footage now, 17 documented violations, and a 3-ring binder full of research on legal precedents for HOA enforcement. The pool wars had only just begun. As she reached her front door, Karen turned back toward the pool area one last time. The sound of laughter and splashing drifted across the evening air. She pulled out her phone and began typing furiously. Emergency HOA board meeting requested. Priority: Community Standards Crisis. Time: tomorrow, 8 a.m. sharp. She paused before adding, P.S. I have video evidence. The notification sent, Karen disappeared into her house, but neighbors would later swear they saw her bedroom light burning until nearly 3 a.m., and the sound of a printer running continuously through the night. The security footage would later show Karen's transformation from annoying neighbor to full-blown community menace, happening in real time. It started when 8-year-old Tommy Chen's inflatable dinosaur accidentally bumped into Karen's shin as she wielded the pool skimmer like a sword. That's it, Karen screamed, dropping the skimmer with a splash. Dangerous recreational equipment in violation of Safety Code 12.4. She lunged for the dinosaur, but Tommy held on tight. What followed was a bizarre tug-of-war between a grown woman and a child over a pool toy, with Karen shouting about liability issues and insurance ramifications, while Tommy just wanted his dinosaur back. "Lady, let go of my kid's toy," said Mr. Chen, stepping forward with dangerous calm. "Sir, I am preventing a potential drowning hazard." Karen yelled harder. The dinosaur squeaked pitifully. "Karen!" Dave Martinez's voice boomed across the pool area. "Release that child's property immediately, or I'm calling security." "You can't call security on an HOA in Fork." Karen's words cut off as the dinosaur suddenly deflated with a loud whoosh. She tumbled backward, arms windmilling, and crashed into the pool with a tremendous splash. For a moment, silence reigned. Karen surfaced, sputtering and furious, her clipboard floating nearby like a soggy surrender flag. Her carefully styled hair hung in wet strings, and her official HOA badge glinted pathetically under the water. "My documentation," she wailed, lunging for the dissolving violation notices. 3 hours of color coding ruined. The crowd had grown. Word of Karen's meltdown was spreading through the neighborhood faster than gossip at a church bake sale. People emerged from their houses with phones ready, sensing something legendary was unfolding. "Karen," Dave said as calmly as possible, "I think you need to go home now." "I'm not going anywhere." Karen hauled herself out of the pool, water streaming from her clothes. "Someone needs to document these violations before this place turns into a complete war zone." She spotted Mrs. Patterson's grandson drinking a soda near the pool. "Aha! Glass containers are strictly forbidden in the pool area." "It's a plastic bottle," the teenager said, holding up his clearly plastic Coke bottle. "Irrelevant. All beverage containers require proper permits." Karen advanced on him, dripping wet and wild-eyed. That's when Maria Santos had enough. "Karen, you're scaring the children. Leave that boy alone." "I'm protecting the community." Karen spun around, her wet clothes making squelching sounds. "You people don't understand the responsibility that comes with property ownership." "What I understand," Maria said, standing up, "is that you've lost your mind over pool noodles and garden gnomes." The confrontation that followed would become neighborhood legend. Karen, soaking wet and shaking with rage, began reciting HOA violations from memory while gesturing wildly at innocent families just trying to enjoy their Saturday. She cited regulation numbers that didn't exist, quoted bylaws she'd apparently invented, and threatened legal action against anyone who dared question her authority. Section 15.72 clearly states that recreational swimming during peak sun hours requires appropriate sun protection protocols. She ranted, pointing at a dad reading a book. Where's your documented SPF verification form? Karen, Dave said desperately. There is no section 15.72. There are only 12 sections in our entire handbook. Because you people refuse to implement proper regulatory frameworks. Karen shrieked. The final straw came when she spotted the Martinez family's dog, Buster, drinking from the baby pool. Unauthorized animal water consumption, she declared, charging toward the tiny poodle. Health code violation in progress. But Buster, perhaps sensing Karen's unhinged energy, chose that moment to shake himself dry, all over Karen's already soaped form. The crowd erupted in laughter they could no longer suppress. Karen stood there, dripping and dog hair covered, staring at the faces around her. For the first time all day, she seemed to truly see what was happening. Her shoulders sagged slightly. Her voice, when it came, was smaller. I want things to be nice here. Clean and organized and proper. Dave's expression softened. Karen, they are nice. Look around. Karen Whitfield's day began with 3 earth-shattering discoveries that would ignite the most spectacular meltdown Sunset Grove Estates had ever witnessed. First, at precisely 7:23 am, she spotted Mrs. Chen's garden gnome, a clear violation of Section 4.27 of the HOA handbook prohibiting frivolous lawn ornaments. Second, the Johnsons had committed the unthinkable sin of parking their work van in their own driveway overnight, despite Karen's 17 previous warnings about commercial vehicle restrictions. But the third discovery, would haunt her nightmares. Someone had left pool noodles floating in the community pool after hours. This is anarchy, Karen shrieked into her phone, pacing her immaculate living room while her husband Dave cowered behind his newspaper. I'm calling an emergency HOA meeting. These people think they can just live however they want. By noon, Karen had printed 47 copies of violation notices, each meticulously highlighted in 3 different colors. She'd also retrieved her special clipboard, the red one she reserved for severe infractions, and donned her official HOA president badge, even though she'd lost the election 3 years running. The pool area buzzed with Saturday afternoon activity when Karen arrived. Violation notices clutched against her chest like armor. Children splashed happily while parents lounged in deck chairs, blissfully unaware that their peace was about to be shattered. Excuse me, Karen's voice cut through the air like a rusty saw. I need everyone's attention immediately. The talking died. Kids stopped mid-splash. Even the neighborhood dogs seemed to sense impending doom. There have been multiple violations of pool protocol, Karen announced, consulting her clipboard with theatrical intensity. First, I witnessed unsupervised pool noodles at 6:47 am. Second, there are currently, she counted dramatically, 6 children in the pool when the maximum occupancy clearly states 5. Maria Santos, a mother of 2, looked up from her magazine. Karen, there are literally 8 lanes marked on the pool bottom. Lane markings are for lap swimming only. Karen snapped. Children's recreational swimming falls under recreational occupancy limits. Read the handbook. What handbook? Asked Tom Rodriguez, the neighborhood's newest resident. Karen gasped audibly, clutching her chest. What handbook? Sir, you signed a legally binding agreement to abide by all HOA regulations when you purchased your home. I read the basic rules. Tom shrugged. No loud parties after 10. Keep the lawn neat. Common sense stuff. Common sense? Karen's voice pitched higher. Common sense doesn't cover the 17-page pool usage guidelines I personally drafted. She fumbled through her papers, producing a thick document. Pool noodle storage protocols alone require 3 pages of explanation. The crowd began murmuring. Someone, Karen couldn't identify who, actually had the audacity to laugh. Furthermore, Karen continued, her voice trembling with righteous indignation, I've documented 17 separate violations just this morning. She began reeling from her list. Lawn gnomes, overnight commercial vehicles, improper pool noodle storage, excessive children in recreational swimming zones, failure to rinse pool equipment. Karen, interrupted Dave Martinez, the actual HOA president, as he emerged from the pool house. "What are you doing?" "Enforcing the rules you're too weak to uphold." Karen whirled around, her clipboard raised like a weapon. "This community is descending into chaos while you sit in board meetings accomplishing nothing." Dave sighed deeply. "Karen, we've talked about this. You can't issue violation notices. You're not on the HOA board." "I should be. I'm the only one who cares about maintaining property values and community standards." The tension thickened. Parents pulled their children closer. Even the lifeguard had stopped scrolling his phone to watch the unfolding drama. "Karen," Maria said quietly, "maybe you should go home and cool off." "Cool off?" Karen's eyes blazed. "Cool off. While this community crumbles around us because nobody else has the backbone to enforce basic civilization." She grabbed the pool skimmer and began fishing out perfectly innocent pool toys with violent, jerky motions. "If no one else will maintain order, I'll do it myself." What happened next would be replayed on neighborhood security cameras for years to come.